Something was wrong with the missing person reports from Blackwood Forest. Seriously wrong. At first, I didn't see it. I mean, I'm just a park ranger, not some big shot detective. My job is trails, trees, and telling tourists not to feed the bears. But then I started noticing the pattern. Every report was almost identical. A hiker, always alone, vanishes without a trace. Okay, sad, but it happens. But the details, that's where it got weird. The last known photos were always the same. A selfie, taken at the old scenic overlook. The hiker would be smiling, but if you zoomed in, you could see something in the background. A flicker of movement between the ancient pines, and their eyes. They always had this strange, unfocused look, like they were staring at something just beyond the camera, something that mesmerized them. The official reports called it disorientation. I started calling it something else. Then there were the belongings left behind. A single hiking boot, a half-eaten apple. A compass, its needle spinning wildly as if the magnetic north had just packed up and left. It wasn't like a struggle. It was like they just dropped everything and walked away. One report from a frantic friend mentioned a final, garbled text message. All it said was, "The music is so beautiful. There's no music in Blackwood Forest. Only the wind and the birds." I decided to do some digging off the books. I went to the archives in the nearest town, a dusty place that smelled like old paper and regret. I started pulling files going back decades, and that's when my blood ran cold. The same pattern, repeating over and over. 1993, a college student. 1978, a bird watcher. 1952, a logger. Same overlook. Same strange, serene look in their last photos. Same odd items left behind. It was a cycle. The local folklore always talked about the whispering pines, spirits of the forest that lured people away with a melody only the lost could hear. We all dismissed it as campfire stories. But looking at these faded black and white photos of smiling faces, doomed to be the next entry in a long, silent ledger, I wasn't so sure anymore. The forest wasn't just a place. It was a predator, and it was hungry. I went back to the overlook myself. I had to. I stood where they all stood, phone in my hand, ready to take a picture. The air was heavy still. I raised my phone, and for a split second through the screen I saw it. A distortion in the air between the trees like heat haze. And then I heard it, faintly just at the edge of hearing. A melody. It was beautiful. It promised peace, an end to all worries. My thumb hovered over the camera button. I felt a pull, a deep primal urge to just walk toward that sound, to leave everything behind and just listen. Something snapped me out of it. The crack of a twig behind me. I spun around, heart hammering in my chest. It was just a deer staring at me with wide, dark eyes before bolting into the undergrowth. The sound was gone. The air was clear. I looked at my phone. No photo. I hadn't taken it. I'd backed away from that ledge slowly, never taking my eyes off the tree line. The official reports say people get lost. But they're not lost. They're found. I started leaving my own warnings, unofficial ones. I'd scratch a symbol into the trail markers leading to the overlook, a small stylosed ear with a cross through it. It was all I could do. I tried to tell my supervisor, but he just patted me on the shoulder and told me I was spending too much time alone in the woods. Maybe he was right, but the reports stopped. For a while at least. No one went missing from the overlook for 3 years. Then last week a new ranger started. A young guy, full of energy, eager to explore. He asked me about the best photo spots. I told him to stick to the lower trails, that the views up high weren't worth the climb. He just laughed and said he wanted to see it all for himself. Yesterday, he didn't show up for his shift. His car is still in the parking lot. The sheriff's department is organizing a search party for tomorrow morning. They asked me to lead them. They want to start at the old scenic overlook. And as I sit here tonight, I can almost hear it again, that faint, beautiful music carried on the wind. The forest is calling. And I'm afraid this time it's calling for me.